Hi Noel, how
How
are
are
you?
you?
Good, good, good. So Noel, I'm just here to have a quick chat with you about the benefits of altitude. So I hope you don't mind taking the time out to answer a couple of questions.
No, not at all.
Yeah, brilliant. So what is altitude?
Altitude, simulated altitude training is what is done in an enclosed environment like what you have here in SPG. It's done with machinery that is CE regulated, validated, and it's controlled by PLCs and sensors within chambers. And the chambers could be anywhere from, a couple of square meters to 100 square meters, depending on exactly what you want to do and how many people you want to train in them chambers.
So Noel, how is altitude installed and who are they regulated by?
So basically, altitude chambers are installed by, we've engineering crews that come in and they will make sure that the chamber or the enclosed space is airtight to what we want, and all our sensors are put in the right position. Basically, we can put a chamber in a bedroom, a sports gym, outside, inside, in a moving trailer even.
Who are they regulated by?
Well, on a world level, there is no regulatory body on altitude training, but here in Ireland we have Altistand, and Altistand is the altitude training standards body, which is governed by Altistand, and basically what will happen or what happens there is each facility. There's only 3 of them in Ireland. There's 3 heated altitude chambers in Ireland, the whole of Ireland. 2 of them being Altipeak and 1 of them being SPG. And basically what happens with the regulatory board, which is Altistand, they're checked every 12 weeks. Their service checked every 12 weeks, because basically what we're doing in altitude chambers is we're controlling heat and oxygen content, but we're also monitoring CO2 levels, which can become toxic in an enclosed environment if they weren't regulated properly.
Okay, right, brilliant. In SBG Talent, we have a cardio altitude room and we have a cage for grappling. Can you give me the benefits of the 2 separate rooms?
Well, if we start on the cage first, the cage would be more specific to having guys that are either combat sports. Well, the majority of them would be combat sports that would be training there, and the benefits of them training at altitude. So the altitude that they would be training at would be about 15.5% oxygen. We live at 21%, so they would train in an enclosed octagon, and that chamber would be about 15.5% oxygen. So basically they would be training there in an energy zone, so they would be trained anaerobically, which would indicate that their heart rates, we could train them for a prolonged time at, say, 90% of their maximum heart rate. You get with a lot of guys, combat sports, that they train aerobically, so they're only training about 80% on the floor, and then when they get to the ring or the octagon, through adrenaline, through nerves, their heart rate is up to 90%. They get to the ring and they're absolutely, they're wrecked before they've even got into fight.
Right.
So what we would do with the guys in the octagon is we would train them as if they were fighting.
Okay.
So we're bringing we're training an energy system, and by training that energy system, we'll prolong their endurance to be at an elevated heart rate, which they would in the octagon, so they don't burn out. We would increase their glycogen resynthesization, which is the glycogen storage in their muscles. We would increase their lactate threshold, so if someone's pushing, the lactate will come out of the muscle into the bloodstream, but we would increase that so they would get longer out to fatigue.
Right.
And then basically in the cardio room, you have a cardio room here, and that's from anyone that wants to get fit, lose weight, speed up metabolism, from Mary or John down the road to the professional athletes. The less unfit you are, the more benefits you get from training at altitude. So a prime example would be that if a guy or girl was obese, and all they were ever used to doing was walking on a treadmill, they can walk, but when they walk on a treadmill, in an altitude chamber, their body hormonally has to speed up. Their metabolism speeds up for 15 hours after they've trained at altitude, because their hormonal imbalance and their body to come back to equilibrium. They'll burn fats for 15 hours after they've done it.
Brilliant.
So it's really open to anyone, from the professional athlete right down to someone that's just looking to cut a bit of weight or get a bit of fitness.
I think that's one of the main things, is it's just for anyone, not just the athletes.
No,
like it's really important to know that any old Joe can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, a lot of people have this misconception that altitude is for athletes. The main reason it's for athletes is because of the cost and the setup cost of opening these chambers. You know, it's very, very expensive. There's a lot of regulations. There's a lot of red tape that you have to go through. There's a lot of coaching. There's a lot of serves, and there's a lot of, there's just endless. But like with myself and 5 years of being in this very niche market, and working alongside yourselves, we couldn't have more of an experienced team in that.
Brilliant. I think that explains why there's not so many altitude rooms that are popping up. You have these heated kind of rooms. Can you just give me a quick gist on the difference of them? Yourself.
A big difference between a heated room and an altitude room, or a heated chamber and an altitude chamber. I know from my experience and from my governing body and from my CE accreditation and their machinery, we have red tape, we've logs, we've systems, we've PLCs, we've safeguards, that we've diversity in our machinery. We've actually the safest altitude training machinery in the world now with our accreditation. That's altitude and in a chamber. When you put it into a heated room, it's basically, a heated room that's sealed. There's no fresh air coming in. The toxic CO2 levels are just becoming toxic. So basically, there's no real benefits towards it. But hey, it's not altitude.
It's like it's kind of a knockoff version.
It's a mimic. Yeah,
it's a mimic.
They're mimicking. Trying to mimic.
You need the real deal. Pay the extra bit for the real deal, I think.
And you will see the benefits.
Exactly.
You will see the benefits.
Definitely. Cool. Brilliant. Right. Thank you for chatting with me.
No worries.
Great.
Thanks a lot.